What's up, you guys? I'm NEONVINES if you don't know. This video has been the most highly requested video by all of you, a studio tour video. I just want to give you a closer look at where I spend pretty much every second of my life, what gear I use, how I use it, what my workflow's like, etc. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do so. It's much appreciated. I have a lot to cover in this video, so I'm just going to dive right in. The biggest and most recent upgrade to my studio is that I finally got it properly acoustically treated with Psy Acoustics panels. These incredible works of art that surround my space now are basically functional artwork, meaning they're acoustic panels, so they treat the space from a sonic perspective, limiting the amount of reverberations and all that kind of stuff. But instead of the typical black and brown acoustic panels that you see treating a lot of studios, these are custom works of art. I think it's time that the treatment of music studios became more than just covering the walls with panels. I think creating a space that represents you and who you are creatively, a space that inspires you and motivates you, I think that's equally as important as treating your space. And if you can kill two birds in one stone, why not? When these showed up about a week ago, it completely transformed my studio. I have no idea how the hell they print an image of this quality on fabric. It blows my mind. All of these panels have backlit Wi-Fi controlled LEDs that you can change the color of right from your smartphone. You can customize the panels and print your own art on them. If you guys are looking to treat your space, I highly, highly recommend Psy Acoustics. I put a link in the description if you want to check them out. Also, if you type in my discount code NEONVINES in all caps without the space at checkout, you can get 10% off. I really could spend this entire video ranting about these panels, but I'm gonna push myself to move on now because I have a lot to cover in this video. By the way, this mic I'm using right now is the Shure MV7 Podcasting Microphone. The cool thing about it is that you can connect it via USB or a regular XLR cable like I have right here. It's just nice to have the flexibility, and I think it sounds great. Of course, the brain of my setup is my laptop, which is a 15-inch 2018 MacBook Pro, an i9 processor, 32 gigabytes RAM, and a terabyte of storage. The external hard drive I use is a LaCie 4 terabyte Thunderbolt USB-C drive. Also, I'm super stoked because I finally got my NEONVINES neon sign by Custom Neon. This has been a dream of mine for a while. You can design your own neon sign from their website. It's pretty awesome, actually. If any of you guys want one, you can use my code, once again, NEONVINES in all caps without the space at checkout, and you can get 15% off a neon sign. It's really dope because it comes with this remote where you can dim the brightness to whatever you want. You can also have it like flash and stuff like that, but I'm not really into the whole flashing LED thing. Right now, I think it's like 40% brightness, but I can go 10%, I can go 100% super bright. So I'm super happy with my neon sign. It actually adds a lot to the studio space. Really brings out the color in the Psy Acoustics panels, so it's an A+ combination. My studio desk is the Xtreme desk by Studio Desk, which is the name of the company. And there's two really awesome things about it. Number one, you can change the color of the LEDs just by adjusting this remote. It's really awesome. It never gets old. One of my favorite things about it is that it's height adjustable, so it's motor controlled as well. I can just push this and get it to whatever height I want. This desk is what transformed my room from a collection of gear to a studio. If you maybe want to upgrade your studio desk, I put a link in the description. You can put my coupon code NEON in at checkout and it can get you up to, I think it's like between $100 to $250 off. I seriously could not be more in love with this desk. It also has a pull out here for a keyboard. My audio interface is the Universal Audio Apollo X8P. Absolutely love this interface. The cool thing about any Apollo interface is that the hardware itself takes on a lot of the CPU processing power. So basically your computer has to do less, which is really great for me because I tend to use a lot of software when producing, so it helps out a lot. I tend to alternate between which studio monitors I'm listening on fairly often, so I alternate between my Yamaha HS8s and Atom A7Xs pretty often. So instead of routing the output of my interface directly into my studio monitors, I actually route it into my monitor controller. This is the Audient Nero monitor controller. That way I'm able to press a simple button and I'm listening on my HS8s, press a different button, I'm listening on my A7Xs. Extremely handy. Before this, I would have to get up behind my setup and reroute everything every single time, and it's just a pain. You can plug 3 different monitors into it and a sub and 4 different headphones into it. It's just a really handy piece of gear. So when tracking vocals or anything using a mic, I have to use closed-back headphones. These are my preferred closed-back headphones. They're the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. I recently upgraded the pair of headphones that I use for mixing, and I upgraded to the Focal Clear Professional open-back headphones. These are absolutely amazing. I got these about 2 weeks ago. I was like, okay, I'm mixing on these from now on. It's crazy how accurately it portrays the stereo field. Like when the hi-hat is panned very slightly to the left, I feel like I can grab it because I know exactly where it is. You just can really hear where things are placed in the mix, and it really helps. There's a mind-blowing degree of clarity with these headphones without any harshness whatsoever. If you guys are looking to upgrade to a really serious pair of open-back mixing headphones, highly recommend the Focal Clear Professionals. By the way, I'm going to put links in the description to every single thing I'm mentioning in this video in the order that I mention it. So if you guys are interested in anything I'm talking about, want to know more about it, you can just click that link. I have two Furman power conditioners. They're both the same one, the M8Dx. I just got one, liked it, and just got the same one again. I use the one to the right to plug my studio monitors into, and the one to the left to plug gear into, like the MPCX and Akai Force. I got these on Amazon, and I put a Amazon link in the description, which, by the way, is an affiliate link. So if you buy something through it, I do get a small percentage of sale. So it's a good way to kind of indirectly support me if you want to. When it comes time to track vocals, I usually send my Neumann U87 AI microphone into my BAE 1073 mic pre, and then into the Apollo X8P, which goes directly into Ableton. I just got the BAE 1073 mic pre a couple weeks ago, and I actually want to give a shout out to Sweetwater for helping me upgrade. I've been wanting to start incorporating hardware processing into my vocal chain, and this mic pre sounds legit. You guys, Sweetwater is the only place I get my gear from now. I actually had the opportunity recently to go up to Fort Wayne and perform at the Sweetwater facility. All the sales reps up there are extremely knowledgeable in gear, which is something I really respect. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm actually on Sweetwater's affiliate program, so if you click any of the Sweetwater links in the description of this video and you buy anything, it doesn't even matter what the link goes to, then I get a small percentage of that sale. And if you do buy anything after clicking my affiliate links, please let me know so I can thank you personally. Any little bit counts. So when tracking vocals, I track in the Isovox 2 vocal booth, and this thing is really awesome for isolating the microphone from the rest of the room. So I'm left with a really clean recording with very low noise. I have the world's tiniest little HDMI connected monitor over here, and you can see that I'm tracking this microphone in there right now. I have a Bluetooth keypad and a Bluetooth mouse that's connected to my computer, so I basically have all the functionality as if my computer were right here, but I don't need to be next to my really super noisy computer fan. You basically just trap yourself in this box. It closes completely here. I sit in the chair and I can just track my vocal. Also in the booth right now, this microphone is the ISO mic. It was specifically manufactured to be used in conjunction with this booth. So the combination of the booth with the mic is called the Isovox solution. It's perfect for tracking vocals for vocal sample packs where you really need a very isolated vocal. And it also limits the amount of post-production that I have to do in terms of gating or lowering, volume automation at certain parts. It's nice to have a really tiny pop filter because the typical ones cover your entire face and you can't even see anything else that's going on. I highly recommend this booth for anybody that is a vocalist and also a producer and you're tracking your own vocals. It's really handy to be able to get away from your computer like this and get a very isolated vocal performance. It's honestly the perfect solution for me, so I think Isovox Solution is a good name for it. If you guys are curious about this, I put a link in the description, by the way. Time to track some vocals. So for connecting anything Midi to my computer, I have two of the same Midi USB ports, and I actually highly recommend this USB port because I've tried a couple of them and they've failed me, and this one hasn't. I put a link in the description. I got it from Amazon. It's like an Anchor USB hub. You can plug 7 different devices into each of them, and they also each have 3 charging ports. It charges your phone super fast, which is dope. The 2 USB hubs that I have are connected to each other with a USB extension cable, and my studio desk also has 3 USB ports that I often plug things into and use. The monitor I have here is a 35-inch Sceptre monitor. It's a good price considering the size of it. I was surprised how expensive monitors are, which is kind of a bummer. I just actually upgraded kind of recently. The bigger size monitors are awesome. As a music producer, I mean, it helps so much when you have all these plugins and windows that you need to be open at the same time. On my main desk here on the right, I have my Ableton Push 2 and my Expressive E Touche. That combination for me is just magical. Most songs I'm producing these days, I actually start off using the Expressive E Touche and Ableton. The sounds in Lie, which is the software that comes with Touche, are just awesome. I definitely highly recommend Touche by Expressive E if you're looking for any kind of really expressive MIDI controller. It's pretty simple to use and the sounds are legit. To the left, I have the Maschine MK3. I actually just got that a few weeks ago. I'm still getting the hang of the workflow. I come from an MPC background, so it's definitely a steep learning curve, but I'm finally kind of getting the hang of it. Okay, Native Instruments makes just amazing quality samples and drum sounds, so that in and of itself makes it worth it. I've been using Native Instruments software for a long time, but after I got the Mark III, like I can finally find sounds, like the sounds that I never even knew I had. It's pretty awesome. This MIDI keyboard here is the Native Instruments Complete Control S61. I really love the feel of the keys, and it's a really huge benefit for me to be able to search for sounds in contact with the physical knobs on the device rather than kind of clicking and scrolling through Contact plugin. I just find it to be really helpful when searching for sounds. To the left of my main studio desk, I have sort of like my standalone station, which is where I keep my MPCX and Akai Force. The MPCX was the first major piece of gear that I invested in. It's been incredibly inspiring. I use it on probably every single project I start these days. I usually begin developing a beat in standalone mode, meaning not connected to my computer, and just kind of focus on building a beat on the hardware itself, and eventually connect it via controller mode to my computer and use the MPC as a plugin within Ableton and kind of combine the two. The MPC workflow takes a lot of getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's really awesome. I had the privilege to be able to debut the Akai Force for its official launch at NAMM 2019. It has a really similar workflow to the MPC, but it has a lot of added functionality that's really helpful, like clip launching, similar to a Push 2 or Novation Launchpad. And you guys know I love my Seaboard. This is a Seaboard Rise 25. The combination between the Seaboard and the MPC is really awesome because I find that the Seaboard adds a whole nother level of depth to a beat that you could develop on the MPC. Even when you use it subtly, it just can really bring a beat to life. I freaking love the Seaboard. And I get a lot of questions about this. No, you cannot hook the Seaboard up directly to the MPC. But to be honest, I wouldn't really want to do that anyway. In my videos when I'm using both of them, I'm usually hooking up my MPC to Ableton via Ableton Link, so they're tempo synced. And then I usually just hook up my Seaboard to a VST within Ableton or a desktop application like Cypher 2 or Equator. This is the Kali Audio MVBT Bluetooth module. You just connect your phone to it via Bluetooth, and then you can play anything from your phone through your full studio setup. It's pretty handy. By the way, I recently upgraded my studio chair to the Secret Lab Omega Charcoal Blue Soft Weave, I believe is the name of it. They just released this chair a couple months ago, and I absolutely love it. The chair I had before this was over 10 years old, and I really needed an upgrade, and I can literally sit on this chair for 8 hours at a time and have no back pain. The chair is more firm than I expected, but it's great for endurance sitting, so when you're sitting for extended periods of time, which music producers definitely can relate to. If you guys want to get a Secret Lab chair, I highly recommend them. The link in the description, by the way, is an affiliate link. So if you do end up buying a chair through it, I will get a small percentage of the sales, and I'm really thankful for that. This area to the right of my studio desk, I mostly use for like idea drafting and concept sketching. You guys know I'm obsessed with my Seaboard Rise 49. Lately, I've been hooking it up to the standalone version of Equator and Cypher 2 on my laptop, which are virtual instrument softwares. And then I've been feeding the audio from those applications into my Boss RC505 Loopstation using an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch stereo cable. It's a really nice way to experiment with ideas without getting overwhelmed with the possibilities with Ableton Live looping. The RC505 is one of my favorite loopers of all time. It's perfectly simplified with just the right amount of flexibility and options. This is the Akai MPD218. It's just a really simple drum MIDI controller. Pretty much only use it for live performances these days. And this is the DJ TechTools MIDI Fighter Twister. I'm probably going to use this in every live performance video that I put out now. All of the knobs have press functionality as well as twist. So you can arm and disarm tracks, mute clips, as well as adjust things like effects parameters by twisting. These are my two Seaboard blocks that I mostly just use for live performances. And this is a MIDI guitar called Jammy. It's really cool because you can play it like a guitar, but get all kinds of different sounds like synths or pads. You're going to see me playing it in a live performance video soon. These are the Avantone Proactive Mix Cubes. To be honest with you, music sounds terrible out of these things, but they serve a very distinctive purpose. So basically their purpose is to ensure that your mix is going to translate to all different kinds of listening mediums, meaning you want to make sure your mix is going to sound good on computer speakers, the iPhone, in your car, etc. I've found that if you can make a mix sound balanced coming out of these monitors, it pretty much ensures that your mix is going to translate to a lot of other mediums. I only really listen on these toward the end of the mixing phase or the mastering phase, but they are really helpful when it comes to mix translation. This is the JBL 104 monitor pair. I freaking love these little monitors. They sound great. They don't get super loud, but they're really crisp and the bass response is great considering the size. This is the AKG Lyra. It's a USB microphone that I've been using for like podcasting and things like that, but to be honest with you, I'm probably gonna use my Shure MV7 from now on. This drum set is the Roland TD50 KVX, best electronic kit I've ever played in my life. Fun fact, drums are actually my main instrument, and if you guys want to hear me lay a solo in my next video, just let me know in the comments. Also, these headphones are the Shure SRH 1540s. They sound absolutely incredible, especially with this kit. Highly recommend these headphones. So now I'm going to take you guys outside of my main studio area and into what I call my jam zone. That's where I experiment with a lot of live looping ideas and developing concepts. So let's head on over. So this area is what I call the jam zone. It's definitely a work in progress, but I wanted to go ahead and just show you what it looks like now. The whole kind of concept is to be able to turn on any piece of gear here in an instant and be able to live loop it. It's really just for the purpose of getting ideas out quickly. The way everything's configured here is actually not that complex, but it's hard to explain concisely, but I'm going to do my best. So there's two different mixers here. There's the Mackie mixer and the Alto Professional ZMX 122 mixer. Anything melodic, so keyboards and synthesizers, are hooked up to the Mackie, and then anything rhythmic, the MPC-1, the MC707 Groove Box, and the Drum Brute are hooked up to the ZMX 122. So just to give you an idea of the signal path, like I said, anything melodic is going into the Mackie mixer. That mixer's output is being routed into the Boss RC505 Loopstation, and then the output of the RC505 is getting routed into the Alto Professional ZMX 122, which goes into my Atom A5X monitors. When I'm working in the jam zone here, I'm actually looping in 4 different locations. The majority of the looping takes place on the RC505, which, like I said, is anything melodic based, but looping is also happening separately in the MPC-1, the MC707, and the Drum Brute. The reason I have 2 different mixers is because when live looping, I prefer to separate drum elements from melodic elements as much as possible, and typically I live loop drums in a different location than melodic parts. When looping drum parts, I have a constant stream of audio coming from the MPC-1, the MC707, and the Drum Brute. If I were to plug drums directly into the RC505, anytime I looped anything melodic, the drums would also get picked up, and so that melodic loop would have drums on it, and I don't want that. Because the signal path is pretty disrupted, meaning it's getting bounced around and sent to a lot of different locations, at the end of it all, when it comes out of the studio monitors, it's not the purest signal. So I wouldn't really want to record anything that's happening here. I mean, it's not super distorted or noisy or anything, but it's just not the most high fidelity sound. But I don't really care about that because the purpose here is experimentation and just drafting ideas. The clock source of this setup is the RC505, so basically that determines the tempo. I can set the tempo there. I'm taking the Midi out of that into a Midi splitter, which is then sent to the MPC-1, the Roland MC707 Groove Box, and the Drum Brute. So those 3 devices will follow the tempo of whatever I set on the RC505. There's actually a tremendous amount of flexibility hooking everything up this way. So I pretty much get lost in the jam zone anytime I come over here, just like developing ideas and stay here for hours experimenting and going crazy. It's a lot of fun and it's a very smooth workflow, actually. By the way, I just want to mention that the only gear stands I use now are on-stage stands. So when it comes to keyboard stands, mic stands, desk mount, whatever it might be, on-stage are the only ones I use now. I've tried a couple other brands over the years, and I realized that the only stands that are still standing are the on-stage ones. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, this workstation desk over here is by OnStage. This would work really well in a smaller studio as your main desk. Has a little pull-out, a place to put your monitors. Also, I just wanted to mention that if live shows were still happening, I would be using these custom fitted in-ear monitors by Stealth Sonics. I got fitted for these at NAMM earlier this year. They ended up fitting me perfectly even with all my weird ear piercings, and they sound great. They also have my initials, NV, and the case has my name on it, so I got super excited when I saw that. Check out Stealth Sonics if you guys are looking for in-ear monitors. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description to their website. I wanted to also mention that I just upgraded to a pair of Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras and Olympus lenses. These cameras are phenomenal, dude. It's been a steep learning curve for me getting the hang of this because all my other videos, including this one, were filmed with my iPhone. So once I finally figure out how to use these, my future content's going to be filmed with these babies. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, that would be so awesome if you could do that. And I also just want to let you guys know that I just launched my Patreon. I'll be posting monthly exclusive video content there, gear tutorials, specifics about software, any tips and tricks that I might have learned along the way that I'm willing to share with you guys. If you're interested in anything like that, go ahead and click the link to my Patreon below. Also, if you'd be interested in a one-on-one video call with me, a consultation about your music career, anything, I'm also offering that on my Patreon now as well. I've learned a lot along the way trying to do every aspect of my career myself. It's crazy to think that at the start of the year I had 6,000 YouTube subscribers. Now I have 145,000 plus. I've learned a lot along the way and I'm more than happy now to start giving back and teaching others. So once again, thank you so much for watching this video and I hope to see you again soon.
I see you when the lightning strikes. One flash a minute.